Hi, and welcome back to Chef Joel's Kitchen. I'm glad you could join me today for how to season and flavor food. There is a difference between seasoning and flavoring. First of all, seasoning is adding an ingredient to enhance the natural flavor of the dish. And examples of these ingredients are acids such as citrus juices and vinegars, spices, herbs, and of course everybody's favorite, salt. Flavorings is adding an ingredient or ingredients to change the flavor of the food. Examples of this are spice blends, wet and dry rubs, and marinades. That is the difference between a seasoning and a flavoring. Now, what I'm going to show you is simply what I use in my kitchen on a regular basis. The two recipes I'm using for my book is, of course, my seasoning is salt and white pepper mix. All that is a mixture of kosher salt and ground white pepper. And the recipe for that is 1 pound of kosher salt to a half an ounce of ground white pepper. I'll mix it up thoroughly in a container, such as a bowl with a wire whisk to get it completely incorporated. Then I'll transfer it into a small container with a lid. Of course, I label it so I know what it is. And then keep it in my kitchen next to the stove whenever I do my cooking, so I have it readily available to season raw meats or to a sauce or a rice dish, whatever I'm cooking for that day. So that is pretty simple. Always have that available in my kitchen. The next recipe, which is, I say is equally as easy, except for a little time you have to do to prepare it, is an herb oil. I love herb oils, and this recipe is incorporating fresh herbs and dry herbs together to give it a really nice enhanced flavor. So it's pretty easy. The ingredients are fresh rosemary, fresh parsley, dry thyme, fresh garlic, olive oil, and canola oil. I use a blend of olive oil and canola oil to, one, saves me money. I'm not using just straight olive oil. And when it comes to cooking, a blend of olive oil and canola oil helps increase the cooking temperature of the oil so that it won't burn, and of course your herbs and the garlic will not burn either as you're cooking it, as long as you don't have it on 1000 degrees as it cooks. So it's pretty easy to make. But when you're using fresh herbs, what you need to do is wash them first. The rosemary I got from my garden outside, so I brought that in, washed that thoroughly, and then spun it dry. I have fresh parsley. You buy that at the store. I always wash all my herbs that I get at the store. So what I did is same thing. I weighed out exactly the amount of herbs that I needed, put them in my salad spinner, soaked them for 5 minutes in cold water, drained the water, then just put it back in the salad spinner, and I just spun it dry. Now, how easy is that? It's better than using towels or paper towels. Spin it dry, dump out the excess water, and then I have my washed fresh herbs. So how we're going to do this is pretty simple. I have a large enough container to hold all the ingredients. I'm going to add all of my fresh herbs. And by the way, I did wash my hands thoroughly before I handled these fresh herbs. I'm going to add my dry herbs, my garlic, and what I did is I trimmed the ends and any odd looking pieces of the garlic off first with a knife. I'm going to add my oil. That's my olive oil. Adding my canola oil. Should I drain and let that drain really well to get us all that oil, because it all costs money. Then I'm going to add my salt and white pepper. And then I get my favorite tool in the kitchen is my power blender. This is a Turbo Brawn blender that I use to puree sauces and of course my herb oil. So I'll just stick that in there and start blending. Definitely makes a lot of noise, doesn't it? was hard work. But as you can see how easily that pureed up, I'm going to do it a little bit longer. I do it for about 3 minutes to really get the herbs ground thoroughly. So what you do is you puree this thoroughly, and then you store it. You can either store it in the container that you're mixed it in, or transfer it into a smaller container, label it, date it the day you prepared it. Put it in your refrigerator, and it can be held for 3 to 4 weeks in your refrigerator. The next time you come back to Chef Joel's Kitchen, I will show you how I use my herb oil in a great recipe from my book, Serving People with Food Allergies, Kitchen Management and Menu Creation. I look forward to seeing you again. Have a great evening.